Okay, this is a quick review of the Sony MDR-Z7. These were the flagship 2 years ago, a year and a half, 2 years ago. Um, they were released along with the PHA-3 and the Z5s, which are the in-ears. These have a 70 millimeter driver. If you're familiar with Sony, I believe they're the only ones that are actually using 70 millimeter. I could be wrong. I'm a big fan of Sony. I gotta say that right out front. People who know this channel know that I have a set of MA900s. Let me get this out of the way for a second. That are just awesome. I love these. These are like listening to a home speaker system. And these ones are recabled. These are a balanced set of MA900s. They're awesome. These were done by Peterek, who used to be called Casper TFG on HeadFi, and he modifies gear into anything you want. You want new shells, new covers, new headbands, new cabling. The cable that came with this was garbage, so I thought, can I get a good one? And then he suggested to get the mini XLRs because then I can go from balanced to cable, and so I did that. So anyway, I'm a big fan of Sony's, enough that I spend money, recabling stuff. I also got, are they in here? Yeah, okay, they're in here. The EX1000s, and they are also terminated in the same fashion, so I can go balanced or single-ended with these. So this is Sony. This is Sony. I'm a fan of Sony. I want to make that clear because I'm not a fan of these. These are sent to me partly to get a look at them because these are unique. These have custom the inputs. These are removable cable anyway, but they were changed by Peterek. Let me see which side is right. L, R. Okay, this is R. This would be, and this is mini XLR. There you go. And he changed the termination for these. And this would be a single-ended example. This is his cable. If I wanted to go balanced, I could use this big, badass balance cable. Just plug and play. This mini XLR system that he uses is absolutely fantastic. I'm a huge fan of it. And you can do this. Sony, because it's removable cable, you could do this anyway, but he switched it to this mini XLR, and I think it's better than the stock cable. Does it improve sonics? No. I've never seen a graph that proves that, but I like cables, so there you go. Let me go ahead and get this out of here for now. Problem I have with these is, okay, let me say what I like about them first. They're very well built. They're built like a flagship. They've got the numbers. I don't know if I can get in there. You can see the numbers, so you can remember your place. Who really cares about that? But it's well made. It's a well made. It's probably one of the most comfortable headphones I've ever worn. The pads are very, very soft. It's got a 70 millimeter driver angled, covering most of your ear. And you would think that would give you a huge stage, and it's also got ventilation. I believe this is actually ventilation, not just decoration. Semi-open back. The issue that I have with these is that they started using a titanium or aluminum or let me get a look at it. Aluminum coated liquid crystal LCP, a liquid crystal polymer diaphragm. This is something that they did with a few. They did this with the Z5 as well. To my ears, these sound odd. These don't sound. These are, I believe, Mylar PET, which is basically the same thing that you have on like your plastic Coca-Cola bottle, but it's about a quarter of the thickness of that. But it's basically petroleum-based. PET Mylar. That's basically what this is. I believe the EX1000s are also what most headphones over the past 15 years, up until they started to make biocellulose and some exotic stuff. Most of it was this plastic. The first MDR-Z7 was PET Mylar, and I believe this is PET Mylar as well. It's got a base lens in it to try to control it, and also an impedance something inside here. This is people like it or not. You can't feel it on your head. It's awesome. I love it. I love these. I love it. So I got it balanced. I can go single and I can go balanced, whatever. So I love Sony. They didn't do very well with this, and I own the Z5s. There's a review on this channel to that, and the reason that I don't like this headphone is the same reason that I don't like the Z5s. The decay of bass, for example, a bass guitar, when you pull the pull, the pluck, and then the vibration of the bass string has a certain sound to it, and it doesn't sound the same to me with these. And it doesn't sound the same with the Z5s. And I thought the Z5s might be because they're a hybrid. They're a dynamic driver and two BAs. And the Super Tweeter is one of those BAs. So I thought maybe cohesion was an issue with that. But the way that the bass decays on the Z5 is basically the same thing it does on the Z7. So not a fan of these. I'm doing the video, which I wouldn't do except for... This is done and customized by Peterek, who I'm a huge fan of, and I recommend him highly. I'm going to put a link inside the description below this video. Because if you want to take anything that you have and do any kind of a termination that you want to re-terminate here, you want to change the cups, you want to paint it, you want to change the headband, whatever you want to do. He's a customizer. He's not just a cable guy, he's a customizer, and he does the most expensive headphones that they make right now. He's probably customizing one of them as we speak, because he's one of the better people in the industry when it comes to customization. And he did these. This was just something that he felt like doing, no particular reason, and he did it. He did a very nice job. It's not his fault that Sony made this the way it is. I will say that the Z1R, or the newest version with the magnesium dome, seems to be a little more sparkly in the treble than this does. So let me go through this. The sub bass sounds rolled off because of the fast decay. It doesn't sound like it's got a mid bass hump, but it sounds like it's got a somewhat of a veil, I want to say, but not a veil. The mids don't sound optimum, so you've got sub bass that's kind of sounds like it's rolling off a little prematurely. You got mids that are not recessed, they're not forward, but they sound thin. They don't sound full and lush for sure. I would say they sound kind of thin. And then the treble doesn't have sparkle. It doesn't have any peaks. It sounds like it's got roll-off. So these sound like they've got roll-off on both sides of the spectrum. That's a sound. I don't care what a graph says. That's what they sound like. And the mids don't sound great. Sometimes the mids are the only good part of any headphone, and these are not great there. These are great in the mids. These are not. And then now there's stage, so you got a 70 millimeter driver, and you think this much have a huge stage. Overstated by some. I don't think so. I mean, these are open back, of course. I can put my hand through this, for God's sakes. This is so big. That's my finger right there. This sounds big. This does not sound big in comparison. Perhaps with other over ears it does, but what is the good point of these headphones? Comfort, detachable cable. They will play most anything pretty good. It's like they're an apprentice of everything and a master of nothing. Would I wreck them? No. What I'm doing is wrecking Peterek. as a modder because he's done so much work for me. And this is what I wanted originally. The reason that I ever even connected with the guy that did my work was because he took up the XB1000, the 70 millimeter, the first version, I believe, of Sony's, and he put them in, I think, like a Denon, and he made this like Frankenstein bass thing with a giant port on it. It was just like, there's one in the world, and I wanted that one. Contacted him. He had given it to sold it. That person sold it, and then whoever's got it now is like collecting it and keeping it because that's what I would do. This is not a Peterek headphone. This is a Sony headphone, and it's not that great, and I wouldn't recommend it. But I would recommend getting some of this stuff done. Having the MA900s with this type of setup, balanced, and I can switch it to single end if I want. Getting cables done like this. Getting cables done like this. I don't know the names, man. They're frozen. They nucleotic some stuff. This one, the copper ones. I like copper because I like copper old school. But of course it's got this because if I have a DAP that's only single-ended, okay, I got a single-end connector. If I want to go balanced, okay too. Same. All my stuff's like that. Highly recommend him. Now, reason I'm doing this video right now, I did another one, but I chucked it. I'm done. I'm not doing that. I just got these, and these are I'm going to do a review of these. These are the Sennheiser HD630VB. If I just messed that up, sorry. These are pretty close in price right now. I believe that you could get either of these between $350 and $450 right now. This is 70 millimeter. This is 40 or 45. It's a lot smaller. I listened to the EPMD Strictly Business LP front to back last night and enjoyed it like I have not in quite a long time, and it was with this one. And I killed my main DAP, which is the ARM20, listening to this because it was just so awesome. And a lot of people have no idea. Everybody knows about this one. Some people like it, some people don't. I don't. But that's a Sony. I just showed you my EX1000s. I'm a Sony fan. I can't get with this one. That's it. Sorry. This is pretty badass. If you're looking for something like this, but you want more clarity and you want mids that are natural, don't sound in your face, and they don't sound like the vocalist is behind the drummer. You don't want it to sound like there's roll off on one end or the other, which means that you want a little bit of sparkle and you want a little, pump. This will do that. So I got a full review coming, but I realized last night when I was listening to these, I've had these around for a while, and I've never really had a long listening session with them. I had these for a day, and I was immediately on them and just got sucked in and was listening to it and realized they got a song on the EPMD LP called The Steve Martin, which is like Do the Steve Martin, which is, God, I haven't heard that track in a long time. And it sounded awesome on this. I went front to back, man. Last track on that LP is called Jane, I think. That was because of this. Now this does not have a detachable cable. However, a Sennheiser sent me a video and said that you actually can open this up and change this. So if you wanted to, making this detachable, you could do it. But I don't know if you could do it. Peterek could do this. So if you thought, I'd like this, but I'd like to be able to pull the cable out, I bet you Peterek could do it. And with these, it would be worth it. So the Sony Z7s, people are going to give me thumbs down because I'm giving this the thumbs down. Cannot wreck this. No. I wreck Peterek all day long, though. And what you just saw, these are dope. The video is coming for this one. And we're out. God, come on. I got Sony's right here. I spent money on this. Spent money getting this thing recabled. How many balanced MA900s are there in the planet? Is there anybody else besides me with balanced MA900s? Balance is supposed to supposedly make it sound wider. These are already one of the widest. These are 70 millimeter. I got them balanced. EX1000s. Recabled. Got the Mini XLR. I'm a Sony guy. Come on. I can't get with this. Can't do it. No.